It is 76 days to the 2023 general election. Good afternoon and welcome to Standpoint. I am Ademola Lawrence. The March 11th governorship election in Lagos State promises to be an exciting one, given the candidates vying for the top job. For the candidate of the All Progressive Congress and incumbent, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, he says he's confident of victory. As residents of Lagos are ready, of course, to maybe endorse him for the second term, given his track record of his administration so far. And of course, I have in the studio the Director General, APC Lagos State, Senator Ganiyu Solomon, to talk about this in the course of the show. Welcome and thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
Yeah, so to just go straight to the point, why should over 7 million registered voters in Lagos vote for Governor Sanwo-Olu?
Well, I expect them to vote for Governor Sanwo-Olu because he made good his promise. And he's also coming from the APC, All Progressive Congress. And we have the people coming from that party as they make good their promises. And when Sanwo-Olu was vying for this position in 2019, he came with a team agenda, which comprises of what he intends to do for the populace. And if you take them one by one, he has covered virtually all the agenda in the team. And for him, he's shown that he's to be trusted with the power by making sure that whatever he says, he make good that promise. And it's coming from APC. And we know that before you emerge the candidate of APC, it must be a hell of a struggle. And for him to have emerged again for the election, it means that he should be given that trust by the people. And I believe that he's going to do very well. You
know, you talked about the fact that before you merged the candidate of APC
right.
for the second term,
That's right.
There were rumors out there, so now it's even better that you can help clear. You know, there were rumors that some members of your party, before the primaries, I'm talking before the primaries of the governorship election, some members of your party had alleged that probably it wasn't going to be Governor Sanwo-Olu to be given the ticket. You remember that there were different primaries in different venues on that day?
No. There was only one primaries.
That was recognized by INEC?
Yes, that was recognized by INEC. We may have some people thinking that, okay, let's show our face. Maybe we'll be given certain things. I don't know about that. But if you go by the position of the party, coupled with the position of INEC, this is where the primaries are going to be held, and anything outside that cannot become primaries. Anyway, that has gone, and,
exactly.
And he eventually emerged. And I believe that is the surest best of Lagosians to vote to re-elect him into that position.
Okay, let's look at the team agenda of the governor.
That's right.
And you look at, he talked about education, he talked about transport.
That's right.
He talked about entertainment.
That's right, yes.
So if you look at this team agenda and looking at the first 4 years, about to complete his first 4 years
That's right.
in this administration, do you think that your party is that popular? Looking at what happened, you know, during the enters and all of those things, do you think that your party is still as popular as it was going back dates 2015, 2019 into 2019 general election, now going into 2023 election?
Well, if you go through the team agenda, you will discover that Governor Sanwo-Olu has touched every part of the team agenda. He set it up himself, and he has followed it to the letter. And by whether people will like to vote for him based on that, I believe if you have a candidate and he promises to do certain things based on certain ideas or ideologies, you have to mark him as against those things. So he has done his best, and his best is really good. And let's take the SARS and the SARS
the end-SARS matter.
End-SARS matter. We've discovered that it was really not something that came from a popular origin. We had some people taking part in it. I mean, if you consider those things that were done during the end-SARS, buses burnt, houses burnt, a lot of things vandalized. That was not the idea of end-SARS. The idea of end-SARS was, okay, we don't want SARS. I mean, it could have come like that and went on smoothly. But some people, I believe, hijacked the end-SARS issues. And the governor himself set up the judicial panel of inquiry to look at it. Everybody is free to come and tender his or her own view about it. So whatever that was done was put into the public glare, which means that he had nothing to hide. It's even a plus for him because the end-SARS issue plus the COVID matter, I mean, showed that you could undo any matter coming along with his administrative role, and he rose up to it. And don't forget the COVID thing. He handled the COVID thing. That is why most people call him Mr.
Incident
manager, because he rose up to that occasion. And it's like it never happened after a while. And he rose up to every particular issue. And the issue of economy, people shouting, the issue of economy is not peculiar to Lagos alone. It's not peculiar to Nigeria alone. It's a global thing. What is happening here is happening in the UK, is happening in the US, it's happening everywhere. So for anybody to handle such a situation right now, you should be given the kudos for it.
You know, some people will not agree with you when you give reasons like the part of end-SARS, and of course, as a result of that, managing end-SARS and managing COVID-19.
Yes.
Due to some of these things, you are giving excuse that managing economy is not that easy. But it would, some people would also give into that excuse that if there was proper planning, by the state, probably these things could have been averted. But going forward, I want to ask, it's a different ballgame when you have policies and government is, infrastructure is going on all around Lagos. But the man on the streets needs to feel that pulse and knows that what can put food on his table is what matters to him or her.
Okay, yes.
How do you think that, do you think that the policies that this administration, the SanwoOlu administration, have been able to put food on the table of residents of Lagos too? There's the matter of area boys. It's not something that we can shy away from in Lagos. Some people will say area boys are there, they collect money from here. How do you think this government is head-on taking those matters seriously?
Well, we take the issue of the economy first. I've said that the economy nosediving is not really a Lagos matter alone. But by then you also want to look at what has the government done in that regards. The government has done quite a lot by providing job opportunities, by giving the younger ones, the younger elements, the money to do certain things, by training them, and by also making sure that whatever money that is made is turned back into the particular economy. And just to make sure that everything goes on the way it's supposed to go. And we also look at the issue of the area boys. I really don't know what you mean by area boys, because anywhere you go, you see boys making groups and so on and so forth. The fact that...
maybe I should put it into the proper perspective.
Yes.
Some says that area boys sometimes constitute this, unfriendly atmosphere, which makes the security of lives and property more difficult, even for government that is supposed to be handling it, more difficult for them. So that's what I'm saying. How do you think this government can begin to handle that? Because it's something that we cannot shy away from.
Well, I believe in Lagos State, yes, we have some boys. They may think, most of them do not constitute any danger to the economy or to the populace at large. You may have them sitting maybe weekends, doing whatever they are doing, but they don't constitute any danger to the areas. If you look at the population of Lagos State and you want to go by that to calculate the security incidences that are happening, you believe that Lagos is still more secured than most states in the country. And yes, the Lagos State government has embarked on several things to make sure that the younger ones, the younger elements, are given opportunities to develop themselves by encouraging them. They have vocational services everywhere. All the local governments have vocational services where most of them are trained. And not only trained, they are given money and at times instruments for their job, which they have done. All these are done to make sure that the younger ones are taken off the street so that they don't fall into the hands of maybe the NSAS elements and make use of them negatively.
Okay, let's talk about health, because that's one aspect that, almost every Nigeria is very critical of, the area of primary health, which also falls under the purview of the state government. You go to majority of our health centers, majority, that's why I put the word majority. Majority of our health centers, the basic amenities that are supposed to be found, you can't find them there. And when you want to go when the poor man on the street wants to go get proper health, it's not going to be easy for that person to go to an expensive hospital. So that means that they need the basic amenities to be provided in the health center. Looking at this administration, do you think that they have fulfilled that part of their team agenda?
That's right.
And if they have, if peradventure they have not, what are the things that the plans to get them done next year if elected? Well,
I believe they've done that aspect of the team agenda. Let me quickly remind you that the population of Lagos State in 2019 is not the same thing as the population of Lagos State now. We have a huge number of people living in Lagos, and nobody is really complaining. But the government, a visionary government, will make sure that they develop as more people get into Lagos. And how do they develop? And the government of Sanwo-Olu, for instance, is planning to make sure that some of the primary health centers are turned into general hospital, just to meet the yearnings of Lagosians. And I believe that 4 or 5 of them have already been done, and they have on record to do more, so that by the end of the day, as the people keep on coming to Lagos State, the government, is the duty of the government to make sure that they develop equally. So that is why most of these primary health centers are being turned into general hospitals, so that they will meet the people. And apart from the general hospital, they are also looking at the mother-child hospital, so as to meet the yearnings of these people. So I believe they are doing well. And that is why Sanwo-Olu is saying that the team agenda, and don't forget, it is during 3.5 years that we're talking about that the COVID thing came about, and that the NSAS thing came about, and that we have this world economy, almost
downtown.
Yes, and despite everything, is also at the top of it, making sure that everything is done well. So he has also made the promise that, look, he's not going to stop, because we know that a lot of people will continue to come to Lagos. And you cannot say, yes, I cannot perform because we have so many people. No, he's rising to it. As they are rising, he's also on top of it.
Okay, I'd like us to talk about the issue of traffic congestion in Lagos.
Yes.
It's a menace.
Yes.
It's indeed a menace.
Yeah.
And there are some roads that are very bad.
Yes.
And sometimes when probably when the Lagos State is having, let me just give you an example. When Lagos State is having a program and they tell you divert to this particular...
That's right, yes.
When they tell you those diversion, those roads that it divert you to, majority of them are very bad. So in terms of traffic, reducing traffic in Lagos,
yes.
I know that the government is trying to do different roads at different times.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's really telling on the people, how do you think that they can be able to give a succor? Because there must be something that is an alternative, a verifiable alternative, if they are doing this other one.
Well, maybe I should just say that we have to keep on with the government, the way they are doing their things. And the way they are doing their things, they've made opportunities available for them to... That is why they do the traffic management by giving out traffic...
advisories.
Advisories that for this particular time and from this period to this period, this is the way you can go. This will make the traffic situation easier for them. And it happens once in a while, not every day. And the government is willing, by coming out en masse, to make sure that, look, if these roads are bad, we cannot wait for us to repair a particular road before we go into another particular road. It's going to be a time, there's going to be a time limit, because at the end of the day, when all the roads, you can't do all the roads anyway. When most of the roads are done, it will be a job well done for all Lagosians. And you've come under transport. And they are also aware that you cannot do all roads and believe that with the population of Lagosians that you've done the best for them. So that is why they are planning the railway lines, the blue and the red lines. And they've gone so very far as far as that thing is concerned. Because if you don't have mass transportation in Lagos State, whatever you have will become naught by the end of the day. And so that is why they are introducing the blue and the red lines. And they are saying that the blue and the red lines, maybe by February or something, they'll be online for everybody to board. So tapping into the team's agenda of the transportation management and so on and so forth, I believe it is a well-organized agenda.
Let's talk about in terms of accountability.
Yes.
Yeah. Your party has been in government in Lagos since 1999.
That's right.
And some persons have said, in terms of accountability, yes, the statistics are saying that when your party was there, it was 600 million. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu took it to 5 billion, and it keeps on increasing.
That's
but
right.
Some persons have also said, looking at the kind of money that Lagos State is generating, there should be more progress, infrastructure-wise, social security should be more compared to, and at the same time, they're saying, are they really giving the exact amount of what they are saying it is?
Well, they will keep on guessing from the way you've stated the points. Because when we have Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu from 600 to 5 billion and so on and so forth, you also see progress of jobs done, progressing in such a way. I mean, there's no way any other state will venture into the railway line business without having huge amount of money. You cannot even go about it alone. And that is why you see them even going out to borrow. And the Fort Mainland Bridge that they are also planning to go about. So the money they make is not about putting the money somewhere and not using it. They are using every part of the money. Look, they have Kai, they have LASMA, and they have everything. All these things cost money because you have people engaged. You have people employed, and they are engaged in this particular, in all their various lines. So when this money had been taken, they are being spent out again, so that people will have succor that, yes, the money that we are paying is being used judiciously. So it's not about people collecting money and we don't see what the money is being used for. And if anybody believes that is so, it should come out with the facts to say that, yes, they've collected this amount of money, where are they using it? I'm sure they will give every bit of information they require.
What more is Governor Sanwo-Olu bringing on board for his second term?
Well,
if re-elected.
He will be re-elected by God's grace. He will be re-elected. Okay. And what do you want? What he will bring out is the team plus. Because he came up with a team that I'm giving you the team agenda. And they bought into it and they voted for him. And he's coming back to say, yes, we are still going ahead with the team, but with another plus. Because there's no way you will come up with an agenda and you will finish all the agenda by yourself. You must continue. So that is where the plus comes in. And if you need transport management, there must still be a lot of transport management that you still need to do. Education, health, and so on and so forth. So that is where the plus comes in.
So I'm going to ask you this question because it's a question that, residents of Lagos, it's almost on the lips of residents of Lagos. The issue of what is the role of the governing advisory council. It's something that is everywhere. And so people have asked that question over time. Some says, in Yoruba, they call them, they say they are for budget, the kingmakers. Mm. Some says that, what they do is just to go to Alausa, collect money and, now that you're here, and I'm also aware that you are part of that Governor Advisory Council.
That's right.
What exactly is their job and what are they supposed to be doing?
Thank you very much. First, the name itself explains everything. It's a Governor's Advisory Council. So they are there just to make advices and nothing more. They don't have any office at Alausa or anywhere. If they have office, that means you have office in your house. So they don't have anything to do with policy making. They can come up with, well, we learned you are doing this thing. This is what people are saying outside. So this is the way you should go about it. So as simple as that. There's nothing... there's nothing to hold them about. Some people are saying that they go to make money and so on and so. I'm yet to see any money that is being made because there's no money for them to make. They are purely advisory, and that is what they do. And if you look at the ages of those people in the council, you agree with me that they have several years of experience. Some dated back to the first Republic, some to the Second Republic. And with that kind of experience, you need to gather them, and they will continue to guide the governor, whoever the governor is, and they guide him, and that is as far as they go. And the governor may take it and may not take it, but it will be very wise for any governor to take their advices because they have been shown that to be the true advices that Lagosians really want.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this question, and that has to do with, there's this talk that Lagos has a template that must be followed.
Yes.
And that template was, facilitated and created by Asiwaju. After he was elected in 1999. That means that he had already had that vision. 1999 down to the previous governors that have come after him, the Fasholas of this world, the Ambode, and of course Governor Sanwo-Olu.
That's right.
And some people have said, if Asiwaju is the one who have led this thing, does it mean that the people, the governors that have come in Lagos, are they at his beck and call at any time? Do you think that is the true state of things?
No. When Asiwaju was elected the governor of Lagos State, he gathered some people. Some of them he did not even know. He just let's look at education. Who are the big shots? Who calls the shots at education? He brought them together. Let's look at health. He brought them together. Let's look at legal profession. He brought them together. Now he's saying that, look, come together, give me the best ideas on how to run the state. So they came up differently. They came up with the template that, look, if these are pursued, this is where Lagos is going to be in the next maybe 25 years, maybe 30 years. And he followed the template. So now we had a template that is presented to every successive governor. It's now for you to look at the variance. Like, look, maybe my area will be transport, that I will play more, emphasis. And by doing that, this is where you will get. Because those people that were chosen in the initial stage were not known, even to themselves. They were not friends. They were just picked from different sectors of the different angles of the sectors. So to come together and bring out the best. And what they've come about, if it is pursued, is bringing out the best for Lagos State. Because nobody has ever done that before, and it was brought in. And you see, what we lack in most African nations is we don't have plans. If you come up with plans, look, this is not about budget for a year, but we are having plans that will last maybe 5 years. We have 30 years, which will maybe the long-term plan, and we have medium plan. And if it is pursued, it is done appropriately, and it is pursued appropriately too, this is where it's going to land us. And that is where we have the MDG and the SSG, the Millennium. Exactly. That is what they aim at, and is yielding results if it is pursued tenaciously.
Okay, that brings me to this question, of course, about your presidential candidates.
Oh, yes.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu,
yes.
Who is contesting for
president, yes.
And just last week, just earlier this week, I think it was at the Chatham House.
Yes.
There was a lot of hula baloo about what happened at the Chatham House, whether what he did is right, whether he should have delegated questions or not should have delegated questions. Some said this is his style of, his own style of leadership. And some said is an innovative style of leadership. Do you think that speaks to the undecided voters who are yet to know whether to vote or not? Because there are so many undecided voters there out there. Do you think that this speaks to their mind? Because they want to hear directly. Some say we want to hear directly from him. Okay.
Well, they gave him some questions, and he answered some, and he delegated the rest to some of his people there. And what he has done is what he did is to now lay credence to his initial status, what he did when he was made the governor of Lagos State, when he gathered everyone that, look at health. He was not a medical doctor. Look at legal. He was not a lawyer. And look at engineering and so on. He was not an engineer, but he had them. Anything he was saying, if he was called upon to come and say it, and it will be whatever that those people have taught him. But to tell them that he already had with him people with the cerebral to do those things, that yes, let this person tell you. For those people that have not made up their mind, it is now a show that, yes, this is the man to follow because he has done it before. If he has not done it before, you may still be thinking that, okay, maybe, and so on and so forth. But he has done it before, and he's exhibiting it openly for them to know. If it has not been done in the Chatham House, he's telling them, look, there's no better way to do it. Why do they follow him? Because they were not there to hear what he was going to say, because they were there to tell him, yes, this is the right thing to say. And I believe what he did was quite right.
Well, that's to you.
That's to me, and that is to many people. But, of course, we have, listen, where you have people that are not disposed to one, there's nothing you do that will go down well with them. They will continue to, this is how to say it. If you had answered all the questions, they will say, no, look how we answered the question. Is that how they answer the question? So whichever way, he went his own way. What we want is results. Whichever way the results came. And he's telling us that, look, I have plans. I have ways to make sure that whatever I say becomes the truth and nothing else. So that is what he exhibited that very night.
Okay, so this question has to do with looking at, the things that Nigerians are saying, both on social media and when you meet them in physical. Some says we're tired of APC, we're tired of PDP, So did you think your party is still popular out there?
Yes, very, very popular.
And why do you think they will still vote for your party?
You need to vote for the party because it's the party to take the country to where it belongs.
They will tell you that APC made promises in 2015.
Good.
And those promises, they will tell you that majority of them were not met.
It depends on who is talking.
Okay.
It depends on who is talking. When Buhari came on board, he made promises. He said he was going to tackle the economy, he's going to fight corruption, and he's going to...
Security.
Security. And mind you, he inherited the security problem in the country. But right now, as we speak, you agree with me that the security issues has really come down because he's tackling it. And before he started tackling the security problem, he called on several other people that, look, talk to your people, talk to them. They should reduce this matter. So because when we take it on us to fight back so that they won't start to grumble. Now he's fighting back, let me put it that way. And the kind of money they're using in purchasing weapons and so on, had money that's supposed to be used for other things, for education, for health, put on top of it, on top of whatever they are using. But they are using it because they had no choice, because they were pushed into the war. No governor will say that, look, I'm handicapped. Because we have insecurity problem. No government will do that. And the corruption, of course, don't let me belabor the issue of corruption. When Buhari said, I hate corruption, everybody would agree with him that he quite hates it as much. And at the economy, look, the infrastructural development that has been happening in this country, none has ever happened before he came on board. They are having the Niger Bridge. They're going to commission it very soon. And everywhere you have the presence of the federal government working. So whatever promises he has made, he's making good those promises. We may have some other things coming in and so on and so forth. But for the promises made by Buhari, I believe he has lived up to the expectation on that.
All right. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Senator Ganiyu Solomon, of course, who is the Director General of APC in Lagos State, for talking to us on some of the things that Governor Sanwo-Olu will be doing if re-elected. That is, if re-elected.
He will be re-elected.